What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. The Jersey All-Star Game on the screen. All-Star Game voting. Today is the first day of All-Star voting. So you know what we're doing? We're putting in one real ballot and one jokey joke ballot. All right, strap in. The jokey joke ballot's more like a role player one, kinda. It's kind of how I'm gonna phrase it. But we're starting off with a real ballot. Don't forget to like, comment, share, sub if you enjoy. We're starting off out west. The easy two. Yoke. AD, best player in basketball, Nikola Jokic, he's going to make it. Anthony Davis, best player on the Lakers. I think that one's pretty clear cut now. But, you know, obviously the Lakers are having their struggles here, there, everywhere, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. AD's averaging 28 and 11 and a half. I mean, plus on top of that, he's still a defensive monster. He's Anthony freaking Davis. That's who he is. He's amazing at what he does. Now, on top of that, we also have other votes. I think we have one more for the front court, and it's going to go to KD. I know some people might want Vic. I understand that. Vic's great. However, I see the Suns, and I see what they did when Kevin Durant wasn't there. It was terrible. I think they're like 2-8. It's not a pretty record at all. It's a really bad record when Kevin Durant isn't playing for the Suns, and it's only Devin Booker. That's a different story. But without KD, the Suns might be the worst team in basketball. By the way, this is a Scottie Pippen All-Star Game jersey. It's the only All-Star Game one I have, so kind of tough. Scottie Pippen's a really weird guy. Been tweeting a lot about Elon Musk. Really, really weird guy. Anyways, now we're going to go to backcourt. Back to review picks. We go to the backcourt. We're going to have Shea, and we're going to have Luka. I think that's the easy one. Part of me wanted to put Anthony Edwards here, and I don't blame you if you did. However, the reason why I wouldn't is because Luka's been the engine again. If it was 3 weeks ago, you might get Anthony Edwards out of me. But we're sitting here today, it's Luka. Luka was in the beginning of the season, in my opinion, Luka was damn near a detriment to his team. They went on a big streak without him. And when he came back, now he's fitting in seamlessly. He's moving off the ball. It's been a really good season for Luka. More efficient, I believe, too. So, you know, I got to give him the nod. And then Shea is Shea. They just were in the Cup game final. They got blasted by Giannis. But I kind of predicted that. They didn't have anybody who could guard Giannis if Chet's not there. It is what it is. Oh, you should have put Steph Curry. Bro, he has a less FNP than De'Aaron Fox. No. And he might make it. I'm going to be mad if he does. He's only averaging 23 a game. That's really low. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. If you vote Steph Curry, your flight reacts. Eastern Conference front court. Giannis, Tatum, and probably Cat. Paolo just hasn't played enough. I think he played like 8 games. That's just not enough to be an all-star, buddy. Franz, currently hurt. So I'm not giving him a vote if he's not going to play. JB deserves some votes. Probably going to make the reserve team. Makes sense to me. Look at Big Vooch. Look at Vooch. 21 a game. 21 and 10. I've been rocking and rolling with the Bulls this year. They've been a fun little watch for me. Shout out Julian Phillips. Shout out. Ooh, they had another guy playing there that's not good. Was it Adama Sanogo? Weird team they got out there. But either way, Scotty Barnes has an ankle injury. Tragic how that goes. Joel Embiid hasn't played this season. We're just walking up and down. These are the picks for the front court. It makes sense to me. Cat's on the best offensive run of his career. Maybe, probably the best that he's played in his career, maybe, up to this point. I think he had a really good, 2019? Maybe 2021. Either one. Was 2021 the Jimmy Butler year? I don't remember. Either way, he's had a really good year this year with the Knicks. Really efficient. Loves that trailer 3, and I love to see him take the trailer 3 because he knocks it down more often than he doesn't, it feels like. Tatum's Tatum. Some people look at box scores and they're like, ew, he shot 12 for 25. That's not 50%. Did you watch the game? No? Well, shut the fuck up then. But people who hate Tatum are people who like to look at box scores and then criticize. They look at a shooting percentage and they're like, ew, he shot less than 50%. Most players do some games, except for big men like Giannis or Nikola. They don't shoot sub 50% really, but when you're taking tough jump shots and like 9 3, I think Tatum's up to like damn near 10 threes a game, you're going to shoot bad some nights. That just happens. And then Giannis won the Cup game just by being one of the best players in basketball. I mean, if you watch the rim deterrence that he had during that game, it was insane. Like that, well, first of all, we're going to talk about the block on Clint Capella in the, whatever the final, the the Eastern Conference Final of the Cup, whatever. I don't care about the Cup, but it was an incredible block, nevertheless. And then obviously in the final, I saw multiple guys turn down layups because they didn't want Giannis to contest it. Like, I think it was Dort or maybe it was Kaysen. One of the two. I saw them. They had like a wide open lane to the basket, but Giannis was underneath. Giannis went vertical, and they basically pulled it out to the three-point line. So that's rim deterrence. On top of that, he's going to average 30 a game. What do you want? East, guards. First off, easy one. I think it's going to be LaMelo Ball. The kids love him. He is such a street ball type of guy. He plays that brand of basketball that's just fun to watch. He plays goofy, and it's fun. The one thing that I do wonder, though, is, like, is his shot selection going to tighten up as the team gets better? Like, I get it. He can take jackass shots right now. That one where he tried to foul bait and threw it up and still made it. Or, like, one-legged threes. You know, those are jackass shots in, like, a playoff scenario. If they were to get a team around him and get him to the playoffs, is his shot selection still going to be one-legged floaters fading into the front row? I don't know. It's going to be some years before they see that, though. So, I don't know. But LaMelo is a bucket and just fun to watch. You know, one of the best viewing experiences you can have on League Pass. Him, Ja Morant, and who's another guy that I think is like a really fun League Pass watch? Any Kings game, to me, is fun. Other guard spot, here's the thing. It could be Dame. It should be Dame, some people would argue. But the Cavs are the 1 seed in the East, and they might not even have an all-star starter. That's insane to me, and it just feels wrong. You know, the 1 seed should damn near guarantee have 1 all-star starter. 1. I'm not saying you got to go freaking, you know, remember when the Hawks, their whole team won player of the week or player of the month or whatever in the East? Not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that Donovan Mitchell is going to be my other guard because I think the Cavs deserve 1 all-star start. You're the best team in basketball. You get rewarded for it, simply. And this is my lineup. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. I will ban you from this channel. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, there was thought of other guys here. But, honestly, this is a list of, like, this almost has all of the 10 best players in basketball except Donovan Mitchell, LaMelo Ball. Probably not there yet. Same with Cat. But you know, these are guys who are some of the best players in basketball. Some of these are obvious picks like Jokic, AD, Tatum, Giannis, Shea, Luka, Cat. Easy picks. The rest of them you can let me know. Like, if you disagree with Donovan Mitchell, I understand. There's probably some guys with better statistical output like Dame or even, who was I going to say? Oh, Jalen Brunson. I understand it, but the thing is, like I said, the 1 seed in the East deserves an all-star starter. Now, this is just the first list. I'm going to submit this one. We'll be back in a second, and we're going to do a role player all-star ballot. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. All right, fellas, here's the criteria. You just have to score less than 20 a game, but you also can't be like the number 1 option. So like Tyrese Halliburton or Lauri Markkanen, those are the 1 option on their team. I'm not putting them here. You can't be the first option. You could argue Pascal is, but Halliburton has the ball more. You get what I'm saying. Basically, just role players, guys who probably won't make the All-Star game, but definitely deserve some love. My first pick from the West, this might be the toughest one, to be honest. The front court in the West, because I think John Collins is going to be there. I like what he's done this year so far. He's been really productive. And on top of that, like, he's a trade candidate that I don't know if anyone's going to bite on simply because of the player option at the end of the season. It's a little scary. Teams will be gambling for a rental. It's up to the team to decide that. But in a competitive scenario with like a real point guard and a real team around him, I think he could really produce. A high flyer, physical at the rim, can shoot the ball, defends kind of well. You know, he's just an all-around decent player. And then the other ones are really tough. Oh, Pele Larson's questionable for Friday, if y'all didn't know. Who else am I going to give this to? I think I'm going to give one to Zubats. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Tear down this wall, tear down that wall. Either way, Zubats is the wall. He is the wall. I like to say this one. Your defense is only as good as your big man, because you can have all the perimeter defenders in the world, but as soon as you get past one of those perimeter defenders, if you don't have a big man that can defend the rim, it's almost pointless. You need a big man down there who intimidates people. At least puts a little bit of fear in their heart and it isn't layup lines. You know, that's the one thing you can't afford in the NBA. NBA players don't miss layups that often. So, you know, you need a center who's going to brick up, not a word, not a phrase, Sounds gross. He's bricked up down there. But, like, you have to have a guy down there who's strong and can defend the paint, can defend the post, can defend, anybody coming toward the rim. Zubac is the epitome of that. And on top of that, 15 and 12 is real respectable numbers-wise. Zubac is getting my nod. The other one, there's some contenders. All right, if you want to put Wiggs there, I will not be putting Wiggs there. But if you want to, sure, whatever. But he already made an all-star game, and no. The Warriors don't. No, they're going to get Steph Curry in. They don't deserve 2 all-stars. Aaron Gordon was a thought, but I don't think I want to give it to him. I think I'm going to give it to Santi. I love Santiago Aldama. He's versatile, big, can shoot the ball. He struggled to shoot. I think so far his percentages are down, but I think he can still shoot the ball, even though he's having a rough start. He finishes around the rim well. He's just really big. He makes the right play a lot. 7.5 rebounds is pretty good, too. Santi checks a lot of boxes for a player that you would want to have on your team. He might be one of those guys that, like, there's 30 NBA teams, and I think 30 would want Santi Aldama on their roster. We'll do guards in the West, stay out West. We'll go into the 20-point threshold, and does any name stick out to me? Immediately, it's Malik Monk. This guy plays one of the most fun brands of basketball you'll see. I've been praising him for years now. Coming out of Kentucky, I thought he'd be a little bit better. I thought that him with NBA coaches could help him refine his scoring and be more consistent. Not really the case. He's still a 6-man type, but when he's moved to the starting lineup now, they've been so good. He just does everything. He can pass the ball well, shoot the 3, get to the rim. He's had a couple of crazy dunks, too, back in the day. I don't know if he still gets up there for dunks as often. I don't think he dunks the ball as often as he used to. But if you look at some of his Charlotte highlights, he could yam that thing, dude, bro. He could throw down. All right, who else is going to be here? Devin Vassell, he's been injured. Keontae George, Chaz, no. Fred VanVleet, leadership god Fred VanVleet. I love leadership, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I want him. Ooh, there's a name that sticks out. If you think I'm talking about Buddy Hield, lay off the lithium. We're going to go Christian Brown. You haven't been watching this channel if you haven't seen how often I've praised Christian Brown being one of the best role players in ball. I was very critical of Denver coming into the season, saying they had damn near no chance because they had damn near no supporting cast around Jokic. Now, am I wrong? Not really. They suck around Jokic still right now to this day. But Christian Brown was one of the guys that I thought, he ain't going to step up. He ain't one of them. He stepped up, and he might be one of them. No, I'm not saying he's generational, but he's another one. I think this entire team that I just built is a team where if you could get any of these guys on like a $10 million contract per year, every team would want them. Every team would take Malik Monk on $10 million a year. Every team would take Christian Brown on $10 million a year. Every team would take Santi, Ivica, John Collins on $10 million a year. Is $10 million a year too low? I might have set the bar too low. Either way, it's just, all these guys are really impressive role players. None of them are going to make the All-Star game. None of them. But in my opinion, especially Malik Monk, he deserves a nod for something. East, front court, scroll down. Any names that pop out to me? Jalen Johnson just does. He is one of the best supporting cast, like, non-role player He's not a role player. He almost averages 20 and 10. That's not a role player, but, like, I don't know how else to describe him. DeAndre Hunter comes off the bench. I could put DeAndre Hunter, but I don't know. I like Jalen Johnson a lot more. Jalen Johnson's the closest I'm going to get to an all-star with these pickings, but that's just because I have to sing praise when I can for him. You know what? I actually don't think I'm going to put him. You know who we're putting? OG. He's going on there. He's been really good. I like what OG's been giving the Knicks. Elite defense, along with the fact that he can knock down a corner 3, which is something RJ couldn't do. But if we want to talk about the trade itself, that might be a win-win. Different story, though. Who else do I want to put in here? Give me Jakob. 15 and a half and 11 and 2.5 assists. That's not bad. He's a guy who I've always been, like, questionable on. But the last few years, I've really started to become a fan of Jakob Poeltl. If he can make a free throw, he'd be one of the most valuable, most wanted big men in the league. Obviously, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bike. you know. So, or if the queen had a wee, she'd be the king, you know. So, what if game, blah, blah, blah. But this guy has mobile feet for a big man. He can hit a floater. He can dunk the ball and make layups. He can pass the ball a little bit. He sets hard brick wall screens, and he protects the paint well. He's literally like Ivica Zubac in the Eastern Conference. They're very similar to me. Very similar player mold. But I like Jakob Poeltl. Very underrated feet. Pause. Super pause on that one. But he has quick feet. And he can get lateral well. He covers well on screens, and overall, he just does a really good job. He's a guy where if he's holding the ball at the top of the key, he's one of those guys that'll fake the DHO and then take off and get a dunk out of it. He's got quick feet. Who else do I want here? Cam Johnson. He's had some big games. I'm going to put Cam Johnson. He's had some big games. And that's about it. Now, he's been really good as a role player. He can shoot. 4.2 rebounds. Get your big ass down there and grab some rebounds, my guy. My lord. But I like Cam Johnson as a player, though. Review the picks. In the East front court, we have Ogugwa Anunoby, Jakob Poeltl, and Cam Johnson. And then out East, scroll under the 20-point per game threshold. First name that pops up, D. Wizzle, Derek White, Richard White's son. You know, I asked this question to my friends the other day. Does 17.5, 5-5 with 1 steal and 1 block per game make you an all-star? And I don't think it does. The East guard plays deep, but he might. But either way, I don't think he's going to make the all-star game. I doubt he does, because looking at guard right now, yeah, hell no, he ain't making it. He's not making it over LaMelo, Dame, Brunson. He's probably not making it over Cade, Hero, Mitchell, Trey, Garland. So Derek White's not making the all-star game. However, he still has a place in my heart and should have a place in your heart too. Guy's a hooper, and he's a role player, but not a role player. Like, if I don't know what his role is. Like, if I asked you what is Derek White's role on the Celtics, can you confidently tell me? You'd be like, spot up 3-point shooter. Well, then you'd be wrong, because he attacks off the dribble a ton, and then he moves off the ball well. He defends really well, especially at the rim, in the perimeter. He blocks jump shots. Derek White does everything you'd want. He is a 30 out of 30 guy, where if you offered him to 30 teams would take Derek White. I could pick Peyton Pritchard for the lulz just to do it to you guys, but I'm not going to pick 2 Celtics. That'd be too biased to me. Where am I scrolling to, bro? I'm trying to figure out. Oh, you see him on the screen. Let me know who you think I'm going to take here. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. It's Dyson Daniels. Another guy. You haven't been watching the channel if you don't think I've been singing him praise. I have been singing his praise. The Pelicans are haunted. I agree with him. He is correct. That organization is cursed by some ghost. And Dyson is in Atlanta now, thank God. And he's been allowed to spread his wings like a hawk. Bars. But Dyson has been super impressive. Just steel magnet. Can get buckets off the dribble a little bit. Attacks the rim well. He does a lot of things well. Can pass, can rebound, has length. The Aussie does a lot. His brother is on an Australian team now, I believe. Pretty cool. What is his name? It's like Di Daniels or something like that. Maybe imagine it was Daniel Daniels. I was about to say maybe his name's Dan. Yeah, dude, Daniel Daniels. What a name. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, share, sub. Let me know who you guys think would be in your all-star ballot that wasn't in mine. If you have any suggestions, let me know down below. Make sure to like, comment, share, sub. I said that already. I'm going to catch the game. See you guys in the next one.